Listen, while we have the incredible Stephen Wilson here with us, we're going to continue to pick your brain about college football.
Let's talk college football.
About these. Let's go bowling.
Let's go bowling,
as you say.
Let's go bowling. Let's go bowling. It's the bowl season. Okay, so we're in the midst of the New Year's Six. Right now we have the Cotton Bowl coming up in just a few hours.
That's
Can
right.
you believe that?
Orange Bowl's already underway.
Orange
Cotton
Bowl's already
coming
underway.
up. For more on the Cotton Bowl, we actually have our colleague over at ESPN, Danny Kanell, is going to join us live from Arlington, Texas. The scene of tonight's game starting at 8 p.m. Eastern over on ESPN. Danny, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me. I was loving listening to the fish conversation. One of my colleagues, Bob Wischusen, he's like a nut. He goes around and follows them around the country. So good to hear some fish played there in the background.
Hey, Danny, how many fish concerts have you been to?
I haven't been to any, but I do have them on some of my Spotify playlists. I haven't been yet personally, but that's on my bucket list of things to do, though. So I'm going to get to one before long.
All right, so one place you are is that is Arlington, Texas. That's where you are right now for the Cotton Bowl. We have two teams here. We have the #2 Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Michigan State, the 3 seed. What's some of the storylines going into this game?
Well, this is going to be two power football programs. There's kind of different styles of football that are being played now in college football. You've got a new wave look where guys are running no-huddle offenses and throwing it around the football field, and you got quarterbacks running all over the place. This is not one of those games. This is going to be your old-fashioned football where you're going to see 3 yards and a pile of dust and teams going at it. There's going to be a lot of hard hitting and just a traditionally, big type of football game with two storied programs. You've got a dynasty in Alabama, and then you've got Michigan State, who always feels disrespected, and they're trying to gain that respect by pulling off a huge upset as Alabama's a 10-point favorite in this game. So there's a lot of little storylines to watch out for throughout the night.
Now, Danny, with Alabama being a 10-point favorite in this game, how can Michigan State possibly move the ball on that tough, stout Alabama defense? We're talking about a defense that's led the nation in sacks, leads the nation in yards per rush attempt at 2.3. How can Michigan State even attempt to move the ball on Alabama?
Well, if they try to run the football on the ground with their running backs, they're going to be running into a brick wall for a lot of those reasons you just mentioned. The front seven, the defensive front for Alabama, is the best in the country. So what they'll have to do is rely on their pass game behind quarterback Connor Cook. Now, he can make those types of plays. He can, throw the ball vertically down the field, take some shots when they're there, but they're going to have to make some big plays. And also look for Connor Cook. I talked about the traditional run game that they're going to try to do, but get the quarterback on some bootlegs and some play action, move him around a little bit, and maybe, just maybe, they can catch Alabama's defense kind of lean in one direction, and they can catch them off, off guards a little bit and work some big plays off some misdirection.
Hey, Danny, I know we care a lot about what happens on the field. I will always bring the conversation back to food when I can. So I want to ask you, between these two fan bases, who's got the better tailgate game?
You know what? The SEC, which Alabama plays in the Southeastern Conference, is world renowned. Not just nationally renowned, but worldly renowned for their tailgate parties and what they do. I mean, it's insane when you go on site. And they've actually brought some of that tailgate scene here to Texas. I mean, they've got trailers outside with tents and flat screen TVs and the grills that are outside. And of course, we're in Texas, so they've kind of adopted that barbecue style from Texas. So I would give Alabama the slight edge, but Michigan State's going to give them a run for their money too. Maybe some of that, brats and stuff you see up in that area of the country, Michigan, Wisconsin, those types of things. So different styles, but hey, I'm a foodie too, so I'll go out and taste test a little bit of everybody's.
Oh, you do go out? You actually go out and mix with everybody and see what they've got going on?
Yeah, but I usually tend to lean to the team that I picked to win, and it was Alabama, so they'll probably be more friendly. But Michigan State people are really super nice, so they'll probably still let me get a little sampling.
Smart man. That's exactly what I would be doing if I was. Yes, 100%.
All right, so Danny, so let's say we want to pick Michigan State. What can Sparty do to kind of win this game here, pull the upset?
Their defense has to come up, and they've got to find a way to somehow stop Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry won the Heisman Trophy, and he is the ultimate workhorse running back. He's had over 40 carries in his last 2 games, and this guy is huge. Like you can read on paper and you look at him and it says 6'3", 245, and it looks big, but when you meet him, it feels even bigger. He is a beast. And Michigan State, if they want to win this game, that has to be their #1 priority, is to stop Derrick Henry in that run game and force Alabama to beat them in the way that they're not comfortable with, and that's through the air, through passing the football with Jake Coker as their quarterback. So if they can do that, if they can stop Derrick Henry, that's how they win the game. Unfortunately, that's going to be a Herculean task because Derrick Henry is one of the best in the business.
Danny, if we had to hold your feet to the fire here, I think you may have hinted at this already. Do you have a favorite coming out of today's game?
I do. I'm going to go with the favorite. I'm going to go with Alabama. The last 2 seasons, they've come up short. Last year, they lost to Ohio State in the playoff. The year before that, they lost to Oklahoma in a Sugar Bowl. All people have been telling them is, man, what happened those last 2 years? They want to prove to people that they're worthy of all the accolades, that they can deserve to be where they are, and they want to prove to people that they can finish a football season. And I don't think they win this game, but I think there's an outstanding chance they go on and win the next one and win the national championship. They're just a team that's very motivated, that's very hungry, and very focused, and one of the best coaches in the game, and Nick Saban. So I'm going to go with Alabama in this one.
There you go. That is ESPN's Danny Kanell joining us live from Arlington, Texas. For anyone wanting to catch that game, of course, 8 o'clock Eastern tonight, live on ESPN. Danny, thank you so much.
Enjoy the game, Danny.
And Happy New Year.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Happy New Year to you, too. I'm going to go get some of that tailgate food right now.
Yes, please do. Listen, guys, we do want to bring you a little bit of news. We were just getting information now in, and I want to, excuse me as I read from paper, I want to make sure that we get this right, but we're getting some new information from Munich, where a police spokeswoman has told ABC News that there have been hints of possible bomb attacks in the city, specifically possibly in 2 train stations, the main Munich train station and I believe it's the Passinger station. Both stations have been evacuated and shut down. Police who were off duty for New Year's Eve in Munich have been called in and are now doing sweeps. So far, no suspicious packages, devices, or anything else have been found, but they are asking people in Munich to avoid large crowds, public transportation, and those train stations right now. So as we talk about all the celebration that's going on across the country and across the world, of course, security is still really, really high on everyone's minds.
Yeah, and our prayers go out to our friends in Munich and everyone around the world that's celebrating the New Year's and New Year's Eve. We want to bring in the new year healthy, safe, and certainly in good spirits, so our prayers go out to our friends in Munich. Absolutely,
and of course we hope nothing there will happen. As we learn more about that information, we will continue to bring that to you right here on ABC News Digital.